What you giggling about?
This guy, apparently you can get into a Boston College basketball game and sit courtside for less than $20.
Oh, I believe
This
it.
is the
It's
Joe
just
Gaither
amazing.
Show
They're horrific.
on BamaCentral.com.
I think they won last night.
We need to praise the Lord that we get to cover Alabama and not Kim Rankin cover Boston College.
They are having a tough year.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet World, West Alabama. How we doing today on an overcast Wednesday? It's the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com. Hanging out with you in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. Hanging out with you on the BamaCentral YouTube channel, Facebook page. You're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral. We're proudly presented by Purple Turtle Roofing. Call Purple Turtle Roofing today at 877-787-6635 for your free roof inspection. They'll come check you out today. And today's Wednesday. We're joined by Brax Garrison of Purple Turtle Roofing. We've got our friend Mason Woods. You can find Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine, covering all things recruiting for the Walsh Riding Network. And Alabama working on with a little bit of basketball recruits. We'll find out. I think today's the window's closed today, right?
Window is closing today.
Okay, so it's the last day of Caleb Holt watch.
We'll see what happens.
Till the spring.
We've got some things ready in case it does happen.
All right, so we're going to have a lot of fun here on the show today. We're going to talk about quarterback play. We're with Brax Garrison. We're going to talk about the college football playoff rankings from last night. I know all of you are angry. None of you went to sleep happy last night because of the rankings last night. The Twitter world was on fire. And I tried to put a little bit of water on some of it, but just the flames were too high. And so you all went to bed so angry. And we'll talk about the college football playoff rankings a little bit today, where Alabama fell after losing to Oklahoma. And then we will finish it up by talking about Alabama's basketball game against Illinois tonight. How many international players can you have on a basketball team? Illinois is definitely asking what the limit is. What does it mean, girls? The limit does not exist. So it's going to be a very tough night in Chicago for Alabama. We'll talk about that at the end of the program. But let's start it with Brax Garrison. Brax, good morning, man. How you doing? How was your week? Find Brax Garrison at Brax Garrison on the Twitter machine, but call him at 877-787-6635, and he'll come check you out your roof.
I'm doing good. It was a rough weekend for sure for us Bama fans down here. Try to be unbiased, but yeah, it was.
You don't have to be.
It was a rough last couple of days, but it is what it is. Still got 2 games left and got a chance to figure it out, hopefully.
There we go. How about you, in your personal life? You get on a bunch of roofs this past week. How are you doing in that? How was life? I mean, obviously, watching football, that was hard Saturday.
Yeah. Football aside, I'm blessed. I mean, everything's been great. Business has been great. Pretty steady going through the, slow time of the year. And but we're staying pretty steady, keeping everybody busy, and still helping homeowners out.
There you go. If you want to call Brax Garrison, 877-787-6635. I call you on that number. What happens, Brax?
I'm there before you can react.
Or you can hang up. He's already at your house.
Already at your house, knocking on your door.
There you go. I mean, I might have a spot in my roof right now. You never know. You don't, because I don't know. Homeowners don't know. Homeowners don't look up at they just walk in, make sure their lights are on. When should people be calling Purple Turtle Roofing?
So a lot of people think that they should wait until they see water, they see leakage. That's what we want to avoid, because once water's in your ceiling, that means there's damage to the trimming in your attic or to your decking. So if a bad storm comes through and you're concerned, if you see some spots on your roof, or you just want to have it looked at after a storm rolls through, give us a call. It's always better to be safe than sorry, for sure. 877-787-6635. So we'll keep talking about Purple Turtle Roofing throughout the program, and we talk about them every day on the show. But let's do a little throw the topics in the Yahtzee roller. We want to start with college football playoff, or we want to start with quarterback play. Actually, just back up even further. Just your reaction to the game against Oklahoma, losing 23-21. As I walked in, I heard 400-something yards, and then I sat down, and y'all kind of cut off your conversation. Just your reaction to Alabama. Oh, first home loss in the Kalen DeBoer era. Brutal. I mean, it's brutal. I mean, again, the last 3 weeks of football that we've played everything tight. We've squeaked out, and
got away with wins, and you got to understand if you play like that and you play down to your competition, and not saying anything bad about who we've played, but you're going to be on the other side of that coin at some point. Like, you got to put games away. You can't turn the ball over. You got to make field goals. I mean, and it's just the simple mistakes we made, are going to cost us in the end if we don't get those figured out, for sure. So yeah, obviously as a Bama fan, I'm very disappointed. It normally ruins my entire week until I get to the next Saturday. Makes work harder, makes it harder for me to get out of bed. And I'm a grown man. I don't know why I let that do that to me, but that's the great thing about this town, that it's really one of the only places that can make you feel like that. So
Roll Tide.
Well, if you feel like that, you can call the voicemail machine at 205-462-7340, extension 800. We have several of those on Monday. You can leave us a comment at BamaCentral, at Brax Garrison, at Joe Gaither 6, and at MA Woods_. Mason, golly, how many people upset last night over the college football playoff rankings? You had Ohio State 1, Indiana 2, Texas A&M 3, Georgia 4, Texas Tech 5, Ole Miss 6, Oregon 7, Oklahoma 8, Notre Dame 9, Alabama 10, BYU 11. We'll keep going, just a few more. Utah 12, Miami 13, Vandy 14, and silly little Tulane is your highest rated group of 5 team at 24. It gets into the playoff field. Just for your initial reaction last night, and we'll start talking about some of these controversies.
In my initial reaction, you see Alabama at 10. I felt that was pretty appropriate place for where Alabama is right now as a team. I think, and I said this kind of before we started recording, like Alabama is trending down right now. They are a downward trending football team. You have played your worst football of the season, minus maybe that week 1 game against Florida State. The last 3 games, South Carolina, LSU, and now Oklahoma, you have looked lost on offense. Your defense has played great. I mean, we said it. I think either you or Katie said it yesterday. Like, you have a championship caliber defense, but the offense is stuck in, FCS level or something right now. It has looked atrocious. So I didn't really have a problem with it. I saw, obviously, like you said, a lot of people really angry on social media about this. I think the biggest gripe I saw is people upset about Notre Dame being ranked over Alabama. And I guess, yes, if you want to go game by game and you can say Alabama maybe has some better wins than Notre Dame has, but Notre Dame has better losses than Alabama has. And we talk about teams where they're trending. Notre Dame is trending upward right now, and Alabama is trending downward. So I don't really think that there's any real gripe you can have with the Fighting Irish being ranked over Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, that's really where everybody was. Why is Notre Dame? We got 4 ranked wins. They only have 1 ranked win. I think that is what they have.
USC.
Yeah, they beat SC pretty by 10 or whatnot. And I don't have any issue with the rankings, Brax, because you all first off, my first major point is there's 3 weeks left.
Yeah.
And this is just a TV show to get you to feel how you felt last night and to get you on the internet going, nah, nah, nah. The biggest problem last night was Hunter Yurachek, his press conference. He's now the committee chair after the Baylor athletic director stepped down. So the Arkansas athletic director stepped up to the committee chair, and he was horrible at the microphone. He was absolutely convoluted in his answers. He didn't give clarity. And so, like, the human element, like, if you listen to the press conference, I understand why you're upset. He cited rushing yards. Alabama hasn't been able to run the football. Alabama's close games with South Carolina, but then gave Texas A&M credit for their close game with South Carolina. Like, it was just an inconsistent metrics for all of the teams that he was asked about. Many people, the Miami crew, golly, the University of Miami folks are mad about being at 11 against Notre Dame. We beat Notre Dame. What the heck? We beat them on the first week of the season. On the first week of the season, they right here head-to-head matchup, same record. Are you saying our losses to SMU and Louisville are worse than their losses to us and their losses to us at A&M? Like, the Miami folks, I think, have a much more
legitimate
real reason. I mean, they beat Notre Dame on the field, but basically Yurachek was, they're not in the same tier of comparison to one another. Like, it's just setting gasoline on everybody's emotions, really. And so the first thing that everybody needs to understand is there's 3 weeks left, and all this is going to change.
And if you view this in a vacuum, like I do, because I'm only covering Alabama, like Alabama just has to do one thing.
Yep.
Win. You win, you're going to be in. You're probably going to move up from 10 to maybe 8, maybe 6, maybe 5. Just depends on kind of what falls around you. Everybody's worried about, what if BYU beats Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship game? I take you back to yesterday's program. If Alabama gets to the SEC title game, plays A&M close, you're not getting left out.
Yep.
If you get drummed by 20, like Iowa State did last year in the Big 12 championship, then you might have an issue. But if you get drummed by 20, do you really think that you're a playoff team after losing to Florida State? Florida State is 5-5.
Yeah, they're really.
They're 5-5. They lost four straight ACC games in a row. Started with that Virginia game that I watched on my phone driving from Friday Night Football, going, "What are y'all doing? You're ruining our season right here." They're 5-5. That's a horrible loss. Yeah. It's not Notre Dame losing to Miami and Texas A&M. Miami on the road by 3 on the first week of the season. A&M by 1, by 4. It was a one-score game at home in the second week of the season.
Combined 4 points or something in those losses.
Nuts. The losses are not comparable. I'm
not
sorry.
Even close.
You lose to Oklahoma by 2 at home. That's not really a bad loss. I think you throw that Oklahoma loss doesn't really even count. And you look at the Miami games, the Notre Dame games. They've lost those first two games. They virtually don't even count. Notre Dame's on an 8-game winning streak. Alabama was on an 8-game winning streak, but you have the albatross hanging around your neck of losing to a 5-5 bleeping football team on the first week of the year. And so I'm not. Don't get upset about these things because there's 3 weeks left here. There's 3 weeks left, and if Alabama, look, you're not going to get any credit for beating Eastern Illinois. You should beat them by 50, and it doesn't even matter if you do. Go down to Auburn and win by 1, by 10, cover, whatever the case may be. You're going to be pushing back for that Notre. Like, you're always going to get dropped from 4, probably dramatically after a loss. Like, this is the initial. To me, this is the initial overreaction to, like, oh, man, well, they have been looking kind of, exactly like you said, they have been kind of struggling the last 3 weeks, Brax. They have been kind of struggling, and, they lost this past week. We got to drop them from 4. Where's the appropriate place? Well, we can't rank them ahead of Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got to move up. Oklahoma at 8. Well, Notre Dame, like, it just is a feel thing. Everybody's comparing Reds. Well, why aren't they giving us credit for our 4 ranked wins? They should be giving you more credit, but you also have the worst loss of the entire, like,
you have the worst loss of almost, probably the top 25.
Yeah.
And so you are getting credit for these 4 ranked wins. You're sitting there at 10. Oregon, they're like, well, Oregon, they lost to Penn State, and Penn State's terrible. Yes, but they also only have 1 loss. So, like, and it's not as bad.
Did they beat Penn State?
Yeah, they beat Penn State.
Oh, yeah. No,
they got smoked by Indiana.
That's what your check is saying. That's what your check said. Yeah. We're giving them credit for beating Penn State despite Penn State falling off.
Yes.
That was the inconsistency. Right. Oh. And it's like, well, you should give us credit for beating Florida State, but they fell off.
It's almost like putting 25 teams' entire seasons and every aspect of their football teams in the voice of one person is a bad idea. Like, why are we leaving one guy to speak for that? Just put it on a computer. Just put it in an algorithm.
I don't understand.
Spit us out a system.
They shouldn't have somebody.
It's so insane.
He was horrible last night.
There's no way anybody could. Nick Saban couldn't get up there and not contradict himself. It's impossible. You are talking about 25 college football teams, and we are 11 weeks into the season. Like, there's just no way for him to be able to keep track of every metric and things that he needs to be able to justify these rankings in that moment.
Brax, what did you think about the rankings last night?
I mean, I don't see a problem with them at all. Like Mason said, we're at the end of the year, and if you want to compare 2 lost teams, which way are they trending? Like Notre Dame, for example, like they're on an 8-game win streak, but they're playing really good football on all 3 phases of the game right now. Alabama, on the other hand, defense the last 3 weeks has been stellar. They've been lights out. They've played great. Like you said, championship caliber defense so far, what I'm looking at. Offensively, started out after the Florida State game, had that 3-week stretch where we looked unstoppable, but something has happened. And inside the unit to where we have lost something, where we're confused about something, we're not doing something right, and we do not look like a championship football team on the offensive side of things. And like you said, Alabama wins out. They beat Auburn. You go and play A&M. If you get beat by 20 points in that game, why? I don't want to be in the playoffs. We don't belong in the playoffs. Why would you want to play a number 9 or number 8 ranked team and then get smoked by them? Like, it's a matter of, it's like Nick Saban said when it was the 4 team. It's the 4 best team. Now it's the 12 best teams in college football playing against each other. And if you get beat by one of the better teams in the rankings, you don't belong. If you get beat up, you don't belong in the top. You don't belong in the top 12. You don't belong in the playoffs. But I don't see a problem with it. Like, it's the same thing with Miami and Notre Dame. I can understand where Miami fans are coming from, complaining about that. But at the same time, back to what Mason said, where are you trending? Miami looked pretty good at the beginning of the year. Notre Dame, like you said, combined 4 points on their 2 losses. They've looked great. Jeremiah Love looks like one of the best players in college football. Obviously, to me, the only reason why he's not in Heisman talk right now is because of the first 2 losses of the year. I mean, I don't see. I guess from a fan perspective, you can be upset, but it's where you're trending. It's how they're playing right now. What team's playing the best right now? And it's hard for me to argue against Notre Dame. And you can say schedule over their schedules is weak. It is what it is. It's the card you draw. Like, it's the card you draw. If you want to be in a conference, they've been trying to do that forever. It's not going to happen. Get over it. Just play football. It is what it is. So.
Your check was awful last night. Here's the answer. Could you assess Alabama after their loss to Oklahoma and also compare and contrast Alabama's resume versus Notre Dame? Your check. I would be glad to. I will tell you that we probably spent more time in our committee room comparing 2 or 3 teams in that band with Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and Alabama. You're asking specifically about Notre Dame and Alabama. Easier to compare because you had head-to-head matchups last week with Alabama and Oklahoma. Alabama had that string where they had 4 really strong wins at Georgia, against Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Tennessee. Then you look at Notre Dame. They've got a win against Southern Cal and a dominating win last week against a Pitt team that was ranked in our top 25. Really, where you break these teams down is in the comparison, Notre Dame and Alabama. Notre Dame has losses to 2 teams that are within the top 13. A 3-point loss against Miami to start the season and a 1-point loss versus Texas A&M. Alabama actually has a 2-point loss at home last week against Oklahoma, but they had that loss at the beginning of the season, 31-17 at Florida State, a team that's now 5-5. Florida State was up 24-7. They held Alabama to less than 100 yards rushing in the game. That really was a sign of some of the struggles Alabama was going to have rushing the ball. You go back and look at Alabama's game against South Carolina, where they scored 2 touchdowns late to win that game, and then the next game against LSU, where they won both of those but didn't rush the ball for 100 yards. Then again against Oklahoma, was not able to move the ball on the ground. So you look at the games that Alabama has struggled in, starting the season against Florida State, where they struggled with the ball. That's 2 really good 8-2 teams. But I think you look at the losses of Notre Dame versus the losses of Alabama, and that was really one of the defining metrics that we used. They just need to hush because
you had no need to bring rushing yards into it.
I don't see the point.
Just to play devil's advocate, I think the point of bringing the rushing yards is to show how Alabama's been kind of stagnant offensively. You started to play better, but you haven't been able to run the ball at all this year.
Yeah, I guess it's like a tangible, hey, look at this metric.
Yeah.
But they're going to throw themselves into problems because then I have no idea. What's Miami rushing for? What's Texas A&M rushing for? What's BYU? I bet you Texas Tech ain't running the football.
You had a pretty good answer there up until you brought rushing yards into it. Like, I was with it. That's basically what we had said. It was like, yeah, you look at the entire body of work. Yes, Alabama may have some better wins, but their losses greatly outweigh that because that loss to Florida State is so atrocious right now. Just compared to, but then you throw in and you. That's a great point of like, all right, well now we have to look at every team in the top 25's rushing yards and compare them accordingly.
They get themselves into trouble by talking too much.
You just don't need to have one person at the bare minimum. Put a panel of people up there and let them all take questions, and we can kind of work together and convene. Or just, I've said it for years. have the BCS spit out a playoff ranking.
Brax, you're going to run into an issue here in a couple of weeks when Miami's not playing for the ACC championship, and you have Georgia Tech and Virginia playing for the ACC championship, leading conference right now. Pitt and SMU could jump in there, both of them at 5-1, but Georgia Tech and Virginia at 6-1. One of them is going to win the ACC. One of them going to win the ACC, and they're going to be bumping out 11 Miami, probably, because you've got to take the top 5 conference champions. You're automatically in, and this is where you get really into a problem. Like Tulane at 24 is automatically in at 12. Right. If you are Ohio State, Indiana, they're playing. They're going to be one Big Ten champion. You're one. Alabama, Texas A&M, winner is the second conference champion. Probably not ranked, but is the second conference champion. And then you're looking at Texas Tech over BYU is the third. You're looking at Georgia Tech over Virginia is the fourth, and then Tulane is the fifth. And that ultimately bumps 2 of the top 12. That gives you just 10 teams, really. 10 teams at large get into this field, and that's your loser of Ohio State, Indiana. That's Georgia. That's your loser of your SEC championship game. That's Oregon, Ole Miss, and then it's probably Notre Dame and Oklahoma. You're going to be like, for Alabama, like, I understand you're feeling heat behind you of like, oh, we don't want to get bumped out. If BYU beats Texas Tech, will Alabama still be ahead of Tech? Will Texas Tech fall below Alabama? I understand, like, the emotions of last night were high, but again, there's 3 weeks to go, and so I'll just ask everybody to take a deep breath and realize Bama just lost, and you're gonna get 2 more regular season weeks. And look, if you beat Texas A&M,
it's a different ballgame.
Can you climb to 4?
Right.
A couple things. One, are we even sure it's going to be Texas A&M?
Sure. A&M's got Texas on the brain.
It could be Georgia.
ESPN Analytics have the most likely matchup as being Alabama and Georgia.
So, it might be that, which either way, I think you win that game. It's a massive win, huge, whatever. But also, what scenario presents itself if Georgia Tech beats Georgia in the final week of this regular season, and then loses
wreck from Georgia Tech
to Virginia in the ACC title game? You have to let Virginia and Georgia Tech both in.
A heck of an engineer.
You got to let them both in if that happened. Now, it's probably unlikely. I think if Georgia Tech wins that game, they'll probably handily beat Virginia. I don't think they'll even win that game to begin with.
My father just disowned me, but
that would be a nightmare scenario for Alabama right there.
Brax, I grew up in a Georgia household, so my father probably just wrote me out of the will right there.
I've always had a soft spot in my heart for the Yellow Jackets.
Oh yeah,
I love them. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite teams to play with on NCAA. Probably not anymore because they're not.
No, they're good. Haynes King.
That's fair, I guess. Right? Yeah.
True.
I beat them yesterday with some random person online with Nebraska, and then I proceeded to lose to Penn State's on my crud list on that game. I cannot win online with Penn State. They're on my crud list.
That feels like maybe a nightmare scenario that you want to avoid.
Yeah. Just win.
Yeah,
just take a deep breath and win.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is just go beat Auburn.
Yep. Yeah.
And then don't lose terribly in the SEC title game.
Yeah.
Or, maybe win it.
I'm not going to vouch for Texas again.
I can't anymore.
Right. Oh. Who was right about the Longhorns?
I'm not going to vouch for Texas anymore.
Fraudulent program.
They were lost the deer in the headlights down in Athens.
That onside kick was so cool.
Yeah. It was, I believe I turned it off at about midway through the third quarter. I was like, I can't wait to talk about this one Wednesday morning. But no, I don't know. Like, again, like you said, everybody just needs to calm down, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks left. We know what we have to do. Like, we control our own destiny. But yeah, if Texas wins that football game at A&M, it shakes things up a little bit. And then also, like you said, if Georgia Tech and Virginia. But then I go back to the point of the best. I understand the format of it, but
the format's flawed.
Right,
Keep going.
Right.
Yes.
If we're talking about the best 12 teams, And this is no hate to the Virginia Cavaliers. This is no hate to Georgia Tech. They're not one of the best 12 teams, either one of them best 12 teams in college football. Now, if Georgia Tech beats Georgia, then you can make that point. Then I understand that. But if they go and get stomped by Georgia, which they probably won't, it'll probably be a 6-point ball game. But it is flawed because if we're trying to get the best 12 teams, I understand you want the 5 conference champions. I don't really get that because like a Texas Tech team, they're good. They're great this year. They're a good football team. But would you rather have Texas Tech or in over Ole Miss, or would you rather have them in over Alabama? A 2-loss Texas Tech team if they lose to BYU, do you think they're better than a 2-loss Alabama team or a 2-loss Ole Miss team or a 1-loss Ole Miss team? That's my point there. So I don't know.
Tulane in here is really like
right. That's
the clown and the meme of all the military guys standing there lining up to go inside. Like
we don't need to be doing this. Like I understand the sentimental metric of we got to make it accessible to everyone, Brax.
Just give them their own playoff.
Yeah, but they don't want. But they really they want it, but they don't because they want to be included. But then they're going to get.
What was Boise State score last year, Mason?
It wasn't. That was not a bad football game against.
I think I do remember.
It was a 1-score game.
Being an okay game, weirdly, I might be wrong on that, but I feel like I do remember that.
It was a 1-score game until late. I believe Penn State won by 14, maybe won by 2 scores.
Yeah, 31-14.
It's like.
So 3 scores. Okay.
You
but they
get a similar
late,
result.
So touchdown late.
You know, I get, like you said, I get it. You representation for everybody. Everybody needs a chance, but it's
the DEI spot. That's what it is.
We've said it on this show so many times. The non-Power 5 conferences play a different sport than the Big Ten and the SEC do.
Did you hear John Summerall yesterday, Brax, saying, if we're ranked 24, there must be a lot of bad teams in the top 25 because we're an average team. That's what he said.
That's a great way to vouch for your own team. It's great advertisement there.
That's the voice I want. Getting hired by Auburn.
You got that guy, and it's like, all right, and you want to put them in the playoffs. That's their head coach talking about how good they are, but you want to stick them in the playoffs. I mean, what?
That's the guy I want Auburn to hire at this point if he's going to talk like that.
Yes, because our team's terrible. What do you want me to say? Our team's terrible. But no, that's a clown. It's a joke, and that again, it's no hate to Tulane.
Sure,
New Orleans.
I love Tulane.
New Orleans is an awesome place. They got a cool thing going on down there. But again, this is a Power 4 sport. It is what it is, and I don't think you want anything to do with any of those teams.
Tulane 45-10 at Ole Miss.
There just needs to be. We did the separation of FBS, FC. We need a
middle
secondary
tier
separation where it's FCS 1A and FCS 1B or something.
Right. You take the
FBS.
Power 4 teams, and it's those 60 squads.
They're competing for your college football playoff national championship. The other teams can, and you know what? Hey, let's get real crazy. Throw a little relegation in there if you want to.
Perfect.
You win the little boy tournament. You get to play for the big boy one next year.
Yeah.
Just have partnerships with the SEC and the Sun Belt. If you win the Sun Belt, you can replace Kentucky this coming year. You can replace Arkansas,
myself included. But everybody gets so confused and wrapped up in the whole like soccer league thing. But they really do have a pretty flawless system going.
Mm-hmm. So Tulane beat Army, beat Memphis 38-32, beat FAU, lost to Texas San Antonio 48-26. And I just mentioned you lost at Ole Miss early in the year. Like, you have nothing on this resume that makes me want to watch you in a 12-team playoff. I'm sorry, like nothing. But some team is going to be, some non-power team is going to be in this playoff, and it's going to bump out your, right now BYU is getting bumped out at 11, and Utah's at 12. So like BYU is getting bumped out right now in favor of Tulane, and Miami is in that 11 spot, but they're good. That the ACC champion has to be in this field, and Miami currently is on the outside looking in of these ACC standings. So there's going to be some problems here in 3 weeks, but I don't think the problems are for Alabama. Everybody's like, call the ambulance, and I'm saying, but not for us. It's fine. It's fine. Just go
win.
Beat Eastern Illinois like a drum, like you should. Get your offense on track. Maybe get Jam Miller some confidence. Maybe get these offensive linemen some confidence, because if rushing yards is the metric, baby, let's go for 350 this week. Like, whatever the case is.
I want Ty less than 15 pass attempts.
Ty, we just need to do a little quarterback read. Rushing yards is all that matters at this point. Little speed option.
Yeah. Another thing too is I do think we have to get some receivers involved. Like from last week, obviously the miscues, the underthrows, overthrows, but I think it's a big confidence week. Like when you play a team like this, it's a big confidence week. It's get your guys going, execute, and let them build some steam going into the last regular season game of the year. So I think getting the ball out quick or trying things new, really, like take deeper drops, try to do a bigger downfield threat, get the ball to Ryan Williams, get the guy's confidence up, because you can obviously see in his face he's a very unconfident player right now. Like he's the fumble on the punt return, and then some of the drops he had, and then some of the underthrows Ty made to him. I mean, it's tough. Like I understand where he's coming from right now. He has lack of confidence. So again, like if we want to get better running the ball, this is a week where you go out there and you run the ball 40 times and you try to get 350 yards on the ground. And then also you're going to get the ball several times in this game, hopefully, God willing. I mean, this would be one of the worst week losses of the year of all time. But you got to spread the ball around, get your guys some confidence, get them going. So that way you roll into Auburn next week, which is a haunted place. But you have confidence, and then you can roll on through the year. This is a really, really good opportunity for Alabama.
Brax, let's go into that because we need to transition. We've said plenty, unless you have more on the playoff topic, or Mason, any more on the playoff topic, because we can transition to Eastern.
I think the next thing I was going to say kind of transitions into this anyway.
Okay,
tied to quarterback stuff. So.
Yeah. So take us into as a player. You kind of just did a little bit, but you're playing a lower level squad and you got starters all over the board. Yeah, you're down a little bit. What can be gained? I mean, you just talked about confidence, but maybe elaborate on it. But what can be gained? Because on Monday, I'm sitting here saying, let's just start Keelan Russell. Let's just play all the freshmen inside linebackers, Luke Metz, Duke Johnson, Abdul Sanders hurt right now. But let's play the inside linebackers. Let's play, let's get A.K. Deere out there. I want to see Derek Meadows get some catches. But Katie on Tuesday rightfully pushed back and said, no, we do need these guys to get confidence, find rhythm, get some cohesion against a lower level opponent. Your mindset as a player, when okay, we're the Gordo Green Wave, we're going up against 1A scrub team XYZ, who cares what they are? We've got to figure out what, or we've got to accomplish something this week. We've got to have a goal this week. Our goal is this. What can you really be gained going up against a lower level squad that really shouldn't be on the field with you?
Well, it's in-game reps, right? So it's you can practice as much as you want, but that only does so much for in-game speed. So when you're able to play a team, and again, I've said this multiple times, it's no hate to the team they're playing.
Sure.
You're Division I football program, Division I football players. So you can't take them lightly, again, because they are talented players. Yeah. But you're Alabama. So the goal, like I said, confidence. You're wanting to polish things up. You're wanting to see it in real time. Like these throws you made in practice, you want to see them in real time, see them go through. And then you can try new things. Try stuff that you've ran in practice that you don't know, you're not really confident with. See it live, and get some confidence going into the next week. But I think it's very important. I do understand where you're coming from by trying to get some young guys in there, get them some in-game reps also. But we're at a point in the season to where we're playing for something a lot bigger than
life is on the line.
Right. Yeah. So we're trying. I mean, the goal is to win a national championship, and if we're going to do that, all 11 players on offense, all 11 players on defense have to be polished and playing really good football. So I think this is a big game. I think you can get Ty Simpson back there, and he can sit back, and set his feet and be comfortable throwing the football. And then you can get the run game going. You can, you're playing against smaller defensive linemen. You're not playing against All-Americans. So your offensive line can get a better look at what it's like to see something executed perfectly. And then you go into next week and you've done it already. Yeah. You've already done it. So now it's a little bit easier on you no matter who you're playing because you've seen it in real time. So I think weeks like this are very important. And then again, if it's 55-0 in the third quarter, then you roll your guy. You get your starters out because again, you don't want to risk injury. You don't want to have guys Ty Simpson tear his ACL. Knock on wood. You don't want to have something something crazy like that happen. So then you get your young guys in and get them some reps. I can't believe I just said that on this mic because if that happens, it won't happen. It won't happen. Showing my face.
You mentioned taking these games as an opportunity to kind of try new things with your starters, and I just Ryan Grubb has been replaced with Brax Garrison this week. You put the headset on.
Woo!
What are some of these new things that you maybe think this offense could try to potentially unlock a little bit of these maybe downfield opportunities for Ty Simpson, for these receivers, maybe get the run game going a little more?
I think a lot of motion. Like obviously, if someone's new to football and you're trying to figure out coverages, motion's a big way to recognize coverages, right? So you bring a man in motion, run across the field, and someone runs with him. 90% of the time, they're in man coverage. If they just shift or they shuffle out, they're in zone. They're in the zone. And then you go to the safeties, and you can look at the corners, you can look at the front. But yeah, I mean, downfield attack. Like, let's do a lot of play action. Let's do some deep play action up under center or from the gun, and really work on getting one-on-one opportunities or letting your guys win downfield. And then the intermediate ball, that's what he's been great at all year. Struggled a little bit with it last week. I think we can get back to that because that's been our bread and butter all year. So, like I said, I mean, you can do a lot of new things. You can spread the ball around and then really establish the run game. Maybe pull a guard, maybe get somebody out in front so your running back has more opportunity and more space to get going. But yeah, in terms of the passing game, which ultimately I think we've established that is what's going to win us football games this year. Would it be great to run the football? Yes, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Let's throw if we can throw the football and win the game, let's do it. So yeah, just get some things down, work on some mechanical issues we had, maybe not setting our feet, maybe our shoulders are out of whack. Let's get that down, and yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for deep throwing the ball down the field. See what happens. Let your guys go make plays. And then it's confidence. And then they go to next week. Well, I made it last week. Why can't I do it this week?
Yeah.
So
we're hanging out with Brax Garrison from Purple Turtle Roofing, former quarterback right here in the area. Jones College, Gordo Green Wave, Tuscaloosa County High Wildcat, all over the place playing quarterback. I want to ask you about this Oklahoma defense and kind of what we looked at this past week. Getting ready for this past week and then in game review, Oklahoma was putting so many guys up on the line of scrimmage, and it was, hey, Ty or Parker Brailsford, or maybe even before the play, Ryan Grubb setting the protection to the left, to the right, making sure the right guys are in the right places. On Monday, Ryan Grubb said, I thought the offensive line actually played really, really well. And so that tells me that they thought the execution was good, but they probably didn't really get the right schematics on the protections on some of these things. I had a friend send me the interception, the pick six, and really that's one of the more dramatic plays of the game. And can you see this?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Just want to make sure that you can see it. Okay. Let me just flip that thing and put it in slow motion so you can watch it a couple times here. Slow. We want to slow it down by about 25% or so. This is just one of the examples. Oklahoma basically has 6 on the line of scrimmage. You got 5 on the line of scrimmage and a backer just kind of hovering right there. The entire line, the left side of the line, kind of blocks the left, and so they ultimately end up only blocking one player. The right side of the line blocks man on man, and you get Wilkin Formby on the defensive tackle, and you get Michael Carroll on the end, and inside linebacker screams free through the inside, through the A gap. And people are watching this and basically saying, oh, Wilkin Formby blocked the wrong guy. And I thought, oh, no, that's not true. No, Wilkin's not blocking the wrong guy. Wilkin, you look at his head before the snap. He is looking at the defensive end. He knows he's blocking the guy to his right. And the guy who's screaming free, well, that's just Ty's responsibility. That's Ty / Daniel Hill, but Daniel Hill's in a route, so it becomes Ty's responsibility. Well, Ty knows this, in my opinion, so correct me here in just a minute. And so he's getting the ball out fast. He knows, oh, I'm responsible for the blitzer. I can't take a sack. I'm getting the ball out to slant route to Isaiah Horton. Yeah. Well, Horton runs a poo-poo route, in my opinion. Yes, he gets bumped off. People are talking about, is it pass interference? Is it not? Right. So just take this one play specifically, but really conceptually through the whole night, because through the whole night you are, okay, we've got 6 up, we've got 5 up, we've got guys blitzing from the second level and guys dropping from the defensive line. So it looks like it's 4 up and, oh, we're good, but then it becomes this and it becomes that. How challenging is it to diagnose who's coming when, where they're coming from, and like, are you just guessing? Well, your quarterback, are you just guessing, or are you taking, well, I saw this on film, it might be this, it might be that, it could be X, it could be Y, it could be Z. What's the process here? So just this play specifically, what's your thoughts on it? The interception, the pick six, who's at fault maybe? Obviously, we're not
we're not throwing any of these players under the bus. We're just breaking down football.
Yeah.
And so what do you see right here? And then just the concept of setting the protection when rushers are coming from all over the place.
Well, this play in particular, so it's a play where the defense gets you. Like, you're in empty protection. You have nobody in the backfield. So, obviously, if you have a running back here and he's got an option to swing or stay in protection, he's going to pick this linebacker up that's shooting through the A gap. Like, that's his responsibility. But also playing to this, yes, Formby was completely right here. His head's outside. He's going to the end. And then the right tackle, he's picking up the edge rusher. The center, you have a head up zero. So this center, this nose guard's head up. So you're assuming that he shifts left. He stunts left. So in reality, it's the center's job to pick up that oncoming blitzer. Like, he's taking his pass set. He's pushing out. He's seeing that he's going to the double team. It's his job to get to that linebacker.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
But this
Makes
is
sense.
one of those plays. But it's a tough go at anyways, because you're in empty. Defense kind of gets you right here. They're showing 5 on the line of scrimmage. They only bring 4. They got a 6-man box. End on the left end shoots out to the flats to cover up the motion. So that's dead. But honestly, if you're a quarterback, I see where Ty's coming from. He's trying to get rid of the ball. Sees an open blitzer, nobody's on him, trying to get rid of the ball. But it's double coverage there, man. You've got a low safety who's his eyes, he's reading your eyes. He sees your eyes go straight there, and then he just follows your eyes to the ball.
Yeah.
If it's me, and again, now if I'm in this position, the ball's probably going, I'm throwing it right at this guy's head, and he's probably taking it back for 6 also. So, but if really looking at it, and it's easy to sit here and watch it on film and tell somebody what they should have done.
It's going a billion miles an hour.
Yeah. So you're there, but if he could go back, obviously, if there's time on the play clock, you can make an adjustment, maybe call a mic call or call. We called it a PlayStation call. You're just picking up somebody that's going to be a free man. But the swing route that your go-to there, get the ball out to Daniel Hill. He's obviously not going to pick, potentially, but he's got a guy flying out there with him. But it's better to get the ball out right now and get it to him instead of throwing the ball downfield in double coverage. And again, when you're in that position, you have a guy running full speed at you. A lot of times you don't see that safety. You're not seeing him until you let the ball go. And as soon as you let the ball go, you're like, oh my God, your head wants to explode. But yeah, from a pass protection, the center should have picked that up. Like, he's immediately, if you have a head up nose, you're obviously, you think this guy, you're taking on a one-on-one block and you're going to get help from your left guard. But they only bring 4, and they bring 3 from one side and they bring 1 from the other side. So if there's only one guy, you're pass set and you're pushing out, and then you see this guy and you pick him up. But I don't think Ty really got confused there except for the throw, but that is one of those things where it's a good, Brent Venables dialed that up really well, and that's a time where defense gets you. They get you, and it is what it is. But we did have a hat on a hat. We could have protected that, but it's a tough protection.
I mean, it really felt like all afternoon Oklahoma was dialing up pressures like that, where it was just like you said, it's not exactly really anything more than just like, hey, it's a great defensive call. They kind of knew where you were going. They had a good sense of what your offense was trying to do, and they made the perfect call in that scenario.
Yeah. And then you're bringing a linebacker from depth. Like, he's playing up on the line, and then most of the time when someone's walking down, you're expecting them to drop out.
Yeah.
He walks up as if he's bringing pressure, drops out, and then comes back and brings pressure. So, I mean, you're looking at that box as a quarterback, as a 6-man box, and you're not really worried about it. You're like, okay, if they bring 6, we have 5. More than likely, one of these guys is going to drop out, but he decides to come, and then they only bring 4. One guy flies the flat, so only bringing 4. So you're protected. You should be protected. A little bit of a mental error, but I understand where they're coming from. That's a tough block to pick up.
Yeah, and from Parker Brailsford's perspective there, look, I don't know. I'm not there at practice. I don't know what their conversations are like between him and Cam Dewberry, whoever's playing left guard that day. But I have to imagine if you're Parker Brailsford, there's a little bit in the back of your mind that's like, hey, he's struggled all year. I might need to help him a little more if this guy stunts left. Yeah. So then he immediately thinks, all right, let me take an extra half second, extra whatever it is to get one extra shove on this guy. But then,
dude was by him before he got his eyes back around.
That's all it takes for the linebacker to get past you. So it's a lot of things.
Here's the other interception that got called back for pass interference, and frankly, Alabama got pretty fortunate to get this call. But you see similar, not same exact defensive play, but similar concept. 6 guys on the line of scrimmage. And so how do you determine
is it just film? Is it just film study, or is there something you can look somebody in the eyes and go, yeah, you're blitzing, or no, BS, you're bluffing, because we're sitting here watching NFL football every Sunday, and I'm watching guys like Aaron Rodgers just, no, you're not blitzing. You're about to drop. Peyton Manning was like pretty effusive in, I know you're blitzing. I know you're not, and setting the protection and knowing where to go. But you've got ends up with really only 4 rushers with a wrap, and then 2 guys drop out. So it looks like 6. It becomes 4. There's a wrap from the defensive end, and Ty just tries to squeeze the ball he shouldn't have tried, and got a call, and so you got to score ultimately. Yeah. But the concept of just not knowing who's going, how do you determine before the snap? Oh yeah, I know Billy's blitzing. I know Charlie's not.
Yeah. Well, it also comes down. It goes back to what kind of team you're playing, right?
Sure.
So you have to have everybody accounted for. As a defense, if you have a bunch of people walking up, as a quarterback, you're looking at that and you're like, okay, I've got 4 guys, potentially 5 if Cuevas is going in. I don't know if he can. I can't tell. Do we have 7 people on the line with him? Is he ineligible? Tight end? I'm pretty sure he's ineligible.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the line of scrimmage. It's 7 with Williams on the outside. He's covered up.
Yeah, so he's ineligible. So so you've got 4 guys.
And he's blocking. Out. He's just down there blocking.
So yeah, you've got potentially 4 guys. Running back stays in for protection. But you kind of know who you're playing. That does come from film. So if you're playing a team that's willing to take risk and leave a guy open and say, hey, if you're able to get rid of this football, then so be it. We're going to bring the house and we're going to bring pressure. But if you see a 7-man box and you realize, okay, well, somebody's not covered up right here. Somebody's not covered. You got to know maybe something's going on there. They're probably somebody's dropping out into coverage. But that is, it's especially in the red zone, man. It's tough. And they're in a 1 high look. Looks like they're just in man coverage, like one man. They're just playing man coverage across the board. So yeah, it's a tough look. It's definitely a tough look, and it looks like he's trying to fit a ball somewhere, and then again, like you get bailed out at the end with the pass interference call. But yeah, it's you got to know who you're playing. It's about what kind of team you're playing. Are you playing a team that's willing to take that risk of leaving a guy open and just saying, if you're able to get rid of this ball fast enough, then we'll eat it. We're fine with that. We're betting on you won't see it before we get to you. But yeah, that's a tough scenario for sure, especially in the red zone. It gets tight down there. A lot of people think, they red zone efficiency, but it gets tight down there, man. You have a lot of room to work with. There's only a selective amount of call plays you can call within a 15 to 20 yard span. That it's tough as an offense coordinator down there, especially if you can't run the football. That's another thing too.
Yeah, I watched a video the other day of John Gruden. He posts YouTube videos now. He posted his ran through one of his old coaching play sheets, and it was like, here's our red zone plays from 20 in, and it was like 8 plays. Red zone plays from 15 in, like 5 plays. I think total, 20, 15, 10 in, 5. He had like maybe 25 plays that you ran in the red zone. So yeah, like it just gets real tough down there to operate.
Yeah.
Brax, here's the fumble, sack fumble. You got 6 on the line of scrimmage, and then you have a 7th from the second level coming. 2 from the line of scrimmage drop out, so it ultimately becomes a 5-man rush. But just the confusion of, and to me, I think it was just, man, Brent Venables got Alabama's offense. I don't think it was really, Ty, you suck, buddy. You saw that on the line. Oh, right. Ty, you're no good. Right. And then you get, Wilkin, obviously he's the change, so it's Wilkin's fault. Wilkin got graded like the highest rated offensive lineman on PFF this past week, by the way. And so like Wilkin, I think, did a good job, and Ryan Grubb said as much, and so did Kalen DeBoer after the on Monday. But you just have concepts like this that are just hell, honestly, to figure out.
They executed the wrong things really well.
I mean, it looks like everybody was where they were supposed to be in this position. It just looks like we got beat on the edge. 64 got beat, and he got beat from pressure. He got out, the speed beat him, and I mean, we picked everybody up.
Right,
everybody's accounted for, and could be a really clean pocket. And back to what you said, Wilkin has looked really good in the guard, being a guard. I think that fits him much better. I'm not saying he can't play tackle, but it seems like his bigger body. He's got him covered up. I mean, that's good protection. If the end is taken care of, Ty steps up in this pocket and more than likely either runs or he delivers the ball downfield. I mean, this is a great pocket except for the edge rusher. We just get beat with speed there. That's all that was. Don't think there was any there was no pickup problems.
Yeah.
Everybody picked up. This is a great. I mean, the guard. I mean, again, now if you want to get nitpicky, the guard here can move to the second. I mean, he can't move to the second level, but he move over to the shade, move over to the head up zero, or help the center out, or he can help out the left tackle a little bit. But he's kind of in no man's land. So I think this is great. I mean, this is great. You just get beat with speed. That's all it is.
Obviously, not a lot you can do, like you said, against a great play. But like, what do you make of the kind of fumble issues that
was my next question?
That
Go
Ty
ahead.
has had the last
That's
few
my
weeks?
next question. 5 in a row.
Yeah, 5 in a row. Five sack fumbles in a row where most of them it just feels like he doesn't even feel the guy coming.
Yeah.
I don't know, as a former quarterback, how hard is it to sense that pressure if it's coming from your complete blind side?
Like he's not. I'm sorry, Ty, but you're not even feeling him right here.
Yeah. No, it is tough to feel pressure, especially when you kind of get a sense for it when you're playing really well. But it is tough to recognize, hey, I got to cover this ball up. Especially when you're in a game where you're trying to make plays down the field. But yeah, in this point in time, you kind of got to know, because when you drop back, I mean, a lot of people say you never want to be looking at the line. You want to be looking downfield, but you can feel it. You can see in your peripheral that, okay, this guy's coming free. You just got to tuck the ball, cover up the ball, man. Take the sack if you got to. It's not the end of the world. It's a lot better than the other outcome of that situation. But it is tough. Like a lot of people say, well, just cover up the ball. How can you not feel him? I mean, when there's 115,000 people in the stadium screaming, and you've got another 100 on this sideline yelling at you, another 100 on your sideline yelling at you, and then there's also, besides that guy that strip fumbles, you've also got 9 other 300-pound men that are grunting and stomping right around you. It's hard to hear it. I mean, it's hard to feel it. I mean, it's hard to. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but Ty's a great quarterback, so that is definitely something that he should be able to recognize and pick up.
Do we think it's more of an issue of him struggling to recognize the pressure? Because like that's what it looks like, is that he just has a hard time recognizing, all right, this guy is barreling down on me and I don't have enough time to tuck it or do anything.
Right.
Or is it, because I think we've also maybe seen this a little bit of times where he just tries to hold on for, a half second too long to make a play, rather than just throwing it away, eating an incompletion, eating a sack, whatever it is.
Yeah. Man, it could be either or.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it could be him trying to do too much, trying to be the hero, trying to make a play, knowing the situation they're in. Or, I mean, it could be he may be struggling recognizing pressure. But then right there, I don't think it was him not recognizing the pressure. I think it's just we got beat with speed, and he didn't think we were going to. He thought we were accounted for. He's trusting his guys to pick up a block. But no, I don't know. That's something that you got to work on, and it's a sixth sense as a quarterback that you got to have.
How much just blind faith do you have to have in your guys up there?
A lot, man. It's a lot. You're putting a lot of trust in other guys for your well-being. I mean, really, and like every day you go to practice and every day you go in the game, you think like the only thing that stands in between me and a trip to the hospital is these 5 guys right here. I mean, really. I mean, and it's a scary thought, but you work with those guys all year. You trust them with your heart. You trust them with everything. So I hate it for him, but I don't think I think it's also in that game too. You're going through a standpoint of we're struggling to move the ball. So everything, like you're kind of freaking out a little bit. Everything's going wrong. And then like that happens and it just amplifies at times 1,000,000. So I don't know.
One more thought on this game from me, Brax. What do you make of this? And just with this number thrown at you, Alabama dropped back 48 times. Oklahoma brought some sort of zone blitz 31 of those 40 times. Now, not every one of them was more than 4 people, but in some form of, we're dropping somebody out. Somebody's coming from a second level. You don't know who's going. 31 times zone blitzes. They brought 5 or more on 11 of those. So really they only blitzed 11 times technically, but it's just 31 different looks of, this defensive end's dropping out. These 2 defensive ends are dropping out. We're rushing 2 from the second level. 20 times they rushed 4, but just different looks of which 4 is coming. Just as a quarterback, when you're thinking about, oh gosh, who's coming this time? 48 times you're dropping back and you only get a handful of, just the 4 guys on the defensive line are rushing this time. Well, just how difficult is that?
It's crazy because then you look at it pre-snap and you're like, they're bringing 7 people right here
right
to get rid of the football. But then they drop out. They drop 3 back and they're only bringing 4. but they're bringing them from different areas. They're bringing them from depth, and it's what great defense coordinators do. I mean, that's a great style because he's not bringing any more than he has. Like he's dropping back in coverage. Everybody's accounted for. He's showing you different looks, different pressures from different looks, and it's just confusing to an offensive line and a quarterback. When you're able to bring two that are down on the line and then drop two guys out and bring two guys from depth, so you're rushing four, but your left tackle now has to kick out, has to do a 5-step kick out to catch up with an edge rusher, a will or a safety from depth. So that's really hard on an offensive line. And, yeah, it's a nightmare. I mean, it's a complete nightmare. You're sitting back there wondering, I mean, who are they bringing? Like, who are they bringing now? What's going on here? What am I going to do? I got to get rid of the ball immediately. I can't take a sack. I've told I can't take a sack. Don't turn the ball over. You got 1,000 things going through your head, and then those things go through your head in about 2.5 seconds. So it's a tough job. That's why it's the hardest job in the world, but it's the highest paying one too.
We've been hanging out with Brax Garrison from Purple Turtle Roofing. We want to tell you about Purple Turtle Roofing. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we believe our work is about more than roofing. It's about service, stewardship, and sheltering what matters most. Our name may be unique, but it's deeply rooted in purpose and faith. The color purple, symbolizing Christ and royalty, reflects our founders' personal belief in striving for excellence and honoring a higher calling in all that we do. The turtle represents something that began as a simple idea, but quickly became a powerful symbol of strength, endurance, and divine guidance. Call Purple Turtle Roofing today at 877-787-6635. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we're not just another contractor. We're your neighbor, your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or your business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certification, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. We specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacements, insurance claim support, and more. Call Purple Turtle Roofing at 877-787-6635. Roofing with heart, built to last. Brax, tell everybody what you've been doing here. What can Purple Turtle Roofing do for anyone that's in the state of Alabama? Metal roof, shingle roof, just kind of what is your goals with your job at Purple Turtle Roofing?
So overall, my goal, I got into this because I believe I love meeting new people and I love helping people out. I love creating new relationships, and especially when someone is in a situation of need, it's a great thing to help them out. I believe that's what God put us here to do, is to help others. And it goes back to what we say, we're a faith-based company. We pride ourselves in our faith. We're very adamant about it. We don't hide it. We don't try to cover it up to make other people feel good about themselves, about their beliefs, but we feel very strong about it. And we're here to help people, right? A lot of businesses in all fields are there to bang you over the head, make a bunch of money off of you, and I get it. It's a dog eat dog world apparently, but we're here to help people, do as best as we can to help you out. And we take pride in it. We enjoy it. Like, there's no better feeling than helping somebody out. And then, they really feel grateful about it. And then you're grateful for them for dealing with people that are really appreciative for what you're doing. They know you're not trying to scam them. You're not trying to get nothing out of them. You're just here to help, and it's what we do. And I love every second of it. I'm blessed to have this job for sure.
What's the most in-need roof you've seen since you've been with Purple Turtle Roofing? Like, you got a spot that had like 10 holes in it, and everything's falling. Tell me, give us a nightmare story. No names, but give us maybe a nightmare story where Purple Turtle, where you helped really change somebody's dwelling, change somebody's house.
So I've been on a couple roofs in the last year or so, last 6 months, however long, and one of them had a lightning strike through the middle of their roof, so there was a hole about the size of a bowling ball in their roof. And then insurance, wanted to pay for, I think it was like 25 shingles, because they were only going to replace that spot and the decking up under it. But the roof was 20 years old. We did a brittle test. The roof was non-repairable, so we were able to overturn that and get the insurance to pay out a full roof replacement. So we went from something that didn't even cover their deductible, so they wouldn't have been able to do it anyways. They'd been paying it out of pocket, to getting a full roof replacement, on a roof that really needed it. So
wow, you've been on some roofs this past week?
Yeah, been on a couple. Got to get on one right after this too.
Oh, West Alabama or outside the area?
West Alabama.
There we go. Exactly. So anywhere in the state of Alabama, you can call Purple Turtle Roofing, but they are based in Tuscaloosa. So if you're thinking about, oh man, what's going on with my roof? I think I might have a spot. Or if you just want to get it checked for peace of mind, come out and look. And you said it's a brittle test?
Yeah. So if your roof is 20 to 25 years old and it's obviously in the heat of Alabama, it has a lot of wear and tear. It's going to be more than likely a non-repairable shingle. We can't repair it because we're going to damage every other shingle around it while repairing this one shingle that they may have paid for. And another thing too.
Yeah, please.
We're based out of Tuscaloosa, but we're everywhere. We've put on roofs everywhere in the state of Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Florida.
Okay, outside of the state too.
Anywhere we can go. We can go anywhere. And I know a lot of people like to say we want to use somebody more local. I promise you that you can look at our resume, you can look us up, look at our Google reviews, look at the photos we've done. We do great work, and that's something we pride ourselves on, because a lot of people will say, well, how do I know how good a work you do? Well, you can do one Google review and ruin our business. Like one bad Google review can ruin us. So we're not going to take that risk.
Anywhere that you're listening to the Joe Gaither Show, you can call Purple Turtle Roofing, 877-787-6635. Brax Garrison and his teammates will come check out your roof and make sure that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. It's your home. You should be feeling secure in your home. So call Purple Turtle Roofing, 877-787-6635. All right, fellas, we've been going a little long, so we need to wrap this up, but we have to talk about tonight's basketball game because the Crimson Tide have another big one. Thursday against Purdue didn't go so well. Another really challenging recipe as Alabama goes to Chicago to take on the Fighting Illini. Illinois Fighting Illini. Illinois, you beat Illinois last season, but Ken Palm has Alabama losing tonight 90-84. You look through the Illinois roster, and it is international central. It is Serbia. It is Croatia. It is just European-style basketball tonight is on deck. David Mirkovic, a pretty hotshot freshman, is somebody that Alabama's going to have to be watching, 6'9", 250. But the names that Alabama fans are most familiar with, Big Z's Zvonimir Visic and his twin brother, Tomislav Visic. We remember Zvonimir from his time at Kentucky and Arkansas. Just going to be another rebounding nightmare for Alabama as they feature guys that are 7'2", 6'9", 7'1", all over the court. Jackson, I don't know how to say your name, sir. Jason Jaxtus, 6'10" freshman as well. So they're going to be trying to beat up Alabama inside, just like Purdue did. We'll have to be watching that. Andre Stojakovic, everybody remembers Peja Stojakovic from his time in the NBA. His son, and Andre Stojakovic. Excuse me.
There's three players on this roster less than 6'4".
Right. It's going to be a problem, Mason.
And I imagine you won't see any of those three players this evening, probably. None of them look to be real contributors to this team. I don't feel great. I felt okay when I walked in this morning before you really informed me of the ins and outs of this Illinois basketball team this season. I think they're going to do a lot of the things that Alabama struggles to play against, and that is solid, fundamental basketball in the paint where they rebound and get second chance opportunity. Like Alabama just struggles against teams that do those things well because Alabama does not do those things well. They play a faster, kind of flashier brand of basketball, and their big men seemingly don't really want to get involved in the paint as much as they need to.
I think it's going to be another night where we're thinking, why in the world did we get Noah Williamson out of the portal?
Keaton Bristow. He will alleviate all our problems.
Apparently, hopefully. Keaton's back tonight, and we'll see if he is.
He needs to take every single minute away from Noah Williamson.
Dennis Rodman. What was it? Farouk Manesh, wasn't he? It's a little more modern reference than Dennis Rodman, but for
you need somebody down there who was. You got to have somebody on this team who's going to average 10 rebounds a game.
A post player,
yes,
who's going to have it.
Yeah.
Oh goodness! Oh, Aiden Sherrill. When you find your muscle, find your grit.
I'm done with him.
You're gonna be even more done with him after the Visic brothers beat him up.
Aiden, my man, you're 6'11", pushing 7 feet. You don't have to don't play the game like you're a 5'9" guard.
Oh,
it's infuriating. He plays like he is 8 inches shorter than he is.
Illinois undefeated on the season. Their big marquee win obviously is Texas Tech. Their only Power 4 only Power 4 opponent that they have played this year.
They do the same thing with their basketball team that they did with their football team.
Well, this is Illinois, not Indiana.
No, but Texas Tech.
Oh, Texas Tech.
Yeah. How impressive is that win?
I think it's fairly impressive. I mean, it's not nothing. Texas Tech is 3-1 on the season. They've played no one else.
Mm-hmm.
They played Lindenwood, Sam Houston, and Milwaukee, beating those teams, but they were lost by 4 to Illinois. But yes, I think they're pouring a lot of money into that athletic program.
Might be a long night.
Yeah, 8:00 on FS1 tonight. So if you are into some pain, you can watch that. Illinois only a 3.5-point favorite, according to the folks in the desert. I think that Ken Palm has probably got this a little closer than it probably is going to be.
I mean, they were wrong about the Purdue game, right? Didn't Ken Palm pick Alabama to win
by 1 point?
Okay.
That's right. I think that Alabama, you're going to be looking at 92-80 in favor
of 10, and I feel okay.
Yeah, 92-80 is kind of how I'm feeling.
If you lose by more than 10, and maybe that's just me having a warped perspective on basketball because I don't watch as much of it as probably the most diehard fans, but 10 points to me feels like kind of the basis for all right, you lost this game handily. Just keep it within 10 and we can at least call it a competitive loss and move on with our week.
Illinois, the 4th rated offensive rating, according to Ken Palm, 124.1, just a couple points behind Purdue. Alabama's not far behind, 121.7 at 11th overall in the country, analytically. Alabama, the 53rd ranked defense, 99.9. Illinois, the 15th ranked defense, so 96.1. This is per 100 possessions. Then their adjusted tempo is not bad. Illinois at 69th overall at 72.9 possessions per 40 minutes. Alabama 4th in the country, 75.5. So still going fast. Maybe you can just outrun the Avicic brothers.
Hey, yeah.
Just get up and
go.
I
mean, I know I said it in jest a little bit, Keaton Bristow coming back and alleviating all of your problems from this season so far, but I do think there is an aspect of if you get a guy who is willing to play that extremely physical, tough, hard-nosed brand of basketball, it rubs off on the rest of the team. And I think, one guy sees this guy doing it, he starts to do it himself and so on. So it kind of can just be the one catalyst. I mean, that's what we called Mo D all last year. Mo D gets on the floor, everybody else steps their game up a little bit because they know he's that junkyard dog. You get that one guy, and I think he can maybe convince the rest of the team to play up to that level with him. And, maybe we see a rejuvenated squad. Who knows?
Brax, you liking the basketball you watch on Thursday, or are you ready for the night?
Yeah, I'm excited about it, man. It sounds like we're playing the Serbian national team.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I like the guys. I think they're gritty. I think they get after it. Like you said, there are some fundamental things, just simple basketball. I think they have struggled with, maybe overlooked. But I'm riding with the Tide, man. I think we sneak out of this one.
Okay.
Love it.
I like it.
Now,
3-point shooter. Shoot their eyes out.
Got to. And, I'm 0
Shot
for 2.
well in New York.
I'm 0 for 2 on my picks here, but today changes that. We're about to fly high on this one.
I mean, LeBaron's due for a bounce back.
I like the Tide by 3.
I love it. I love that.
Put LeBaron on a big stage, and he plays well.
Let's do it.
It's Coleman not a big enough stage?
No, it is not.
Okay. Break my heart, Mason.
Sorry.
Just stomp on it.
It's no MSG.
Oh, it's better. It's not. It's better.
It's different.
Well, the Lord Kenny Pomeroy again, 90-84 in favor of Illinois, and has us losing next Monday as well to Gonzaga, 88-82, before winning again against UNLV, Clemson, UTSA. So better times ahead for Alabama with the tough schedule.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess that's the beauty of scheduling like this is even if you lose these games, you get to the end of the year, they don't look that bad.
All right. Well, yeah, I said what, 92-80. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Brax says Bama by 3. Mason says,
give me Illinois by 8. I'm right. I think they can keep it within 10. I'll probably go 90-82.
Perfect.
Well, that's going to do it for our program today. Brax got to go jump on some roofs. We appreciate everybody jumping in and joining us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, joining us on the BamaCentral YouTube channel. You can see all of our player press conferences yesterday. We talked to Nakai Hill-Green. We talked to LT Overton. We talked to Gino Vandermark and Jam Miller yesterday in the Mount Moore Athletic Facility. You can see that on the BamaCentral YouTube channel. At 11:30, we're going to be talking to Coach Kalen DeBoer for the final time on the SEC Coaches Teleconference Call of the Year. So you'll be able to hear that audio, everything that Coach DeBoer has to say on the teleconference call. Obviously, we're going to have a little Hey Coach tonight. Hunter DeCyber is going to be writing about that. Oh, my gosh, Hunter's got somebody's got to help Hunter tonight. It's probably going to be me because Hunter's going to be doing basketball, and somebody's got to listen to Hey Coach and see if Coach DeBoer says anything interesting over at Baumhauer's. Probably won't, but that's okay. So we're going to get out of here. We will have another 2 days, and we'll get ready for the Eastern Illinois matchup. Make some Brax, you want to get out of here with a 62-3 prediction against Illinois or Eastern Illinois or football?
Yeah, I'll say it's probably going to be
100-0,
70,
56-0.
Break 70.
That'd be great. I think it's a 56-0 game.
There we go.
I think it's not much of a football game after the first 10 minutes.
So there we go.
We'll
56-0 for Brax. We like that as well. No, you cannot find it right now on the traditional Las Vegas websites.
How many points do you have to score before it turns from like, all right, Alabama's just proven itself to, okay, you're being disrespectful?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's
you got to find that line.
Yeah, there's like a thin line.
I want you to run right up to that.
Why are we going for it on 4th and 2 and you're up 71?
Yeah, I want
because we need
right
more rushing yards.
Line.
More rushing yards. The committee only respects rushing yards.
You're not going to keep AK Deer out of the end zone. Just turn around and hand him the ball. See what happens.
Right.
More rushing yards because that's the only thing the committee respects.
Yeah, that's all it is. Nothing else.
All right.
We don't care.
Send the show to a friend and call Purple Total Roofing at 877-787-6635. And we'll talk to you tomorrow right here on the Joe Gaither Show, BamaCentral, BamaCentral.com.